In today's episode, I'll be doing a step-by-step how-to very low moisture carpet cleaning, also referred to as VLM. So I get a lot of questions and a lot of emails and a lot of texts and comments on, do you pre-vacuum, don't you, what chemicals do you use? So I'm going to go through step by step. And this video, you'll see I'm doing a pre-vacuuming. I'm using a commercial vacuum. It's a sanitaire. It does have the shakeout bag, which I kind of like. And it does a great job of picking up debris. It gets really good along the edges of the walls. I believe you can purchase a model just like this on Amazon for approximately $115, brand new. I've been using mine for quite a while now. And when people ask, do you pre-vacuum? I mentioned in a previous video that when I set up the appointment, I have instructions for them to pre-vacuum before I arrive. And if they cannot do so, then notify me 24 hours in advance, and I'll plan the additional time needed based on the size of the house to complete the pre-vacuuming. Because if you're on a schedule, I'll book a 9 a.m., an 11 a.m., and a 1 p.m. is what I do for myself. But if you're on a schedule and they don't tell you you need to vacuum and you're in a 3,000 square foot house, you could be looking at adding an additional hour's time onto the current job, what you were expecting to do. So you would definitely want to notify the following job and let them know you may be coming a little later. So for the most part, my clients, do the vacuuming. Now there are times when I get into the home and I rub my foot. I wear those rubber-soled shoes. I'll rub my foot across the carpet, and if I see debris or hair or dust coming up, then I know their vacuum's not functioning properly and I probably need to go ahead and vacuum it. So I'll usually do that. Or when I'm done cleaning, if there was any debris that got moved to the surface, I can do a post vacuum if I want to. Or I have a little shop vac. Sometimes I'll just bring that in, suck up the debris. So it all depends. But like I said, if you're new to the business, you should follow the steps. And by that, I mean you should vacuum. When you're new, come in and vacuum first. Do your walkthrough, see what you're up against, and then, make sure it's exactly what you booked. I usually let the customer walk me through and show me the areas. And when I get in the door, I'll say, okay, so I see we're doing living room, dining room, hallway, and 3 bedrooms. Is that correct? I already have my invoice filled out from the conversation. Then they'll show me. And sometimes they forget, they had stairs, they're carpeted, there's a master closet. And then you can discuss that with them. If you need to add on any additional fees, you can do that. And then get them to sign your invoice and make sure that they social distance, stay out of the way if they got somewhere they want to go. Sometimes I'll tell them, if you want to go get a coffee or, lunch, feel free to leave, and I'll text you before, 15 minutes before I'm done. And that way I can work without somebody staring over my shoulder, which is always nice, especially if you're new. And it is a trust factor. You want to be clean cut. And by clean cut, I don't mean, military style. I have a goatee. Sometimes I grow the side out, so I have a beard. But I'm clean. I smell good. I have my deodorant on. My teeth are brushed. I do wear a hat that says my company name. Sometimes I wear a shirt that has my company name. And so the customer needs to feel comfortable in order to leave the house. So if you show up and you're in sweats and dirty tennis shoes and, they look outside and your vehicle's not marked, they get suspicious. And then now you're going to have somebody kind of watching over you. So just remember that. It's important. And you can see here I'm coming down the hallway. And a lot of sometimes you'll go in a home and this first step will actually uncover clean carpet. It's kind of funny. I've had it happen quite often where I've gone in and I thought, oh man, this is a mess. And then as I vacuum it, it was just embedded dog hair, dirt, easy. So keep that in mind as well. And they always say that vacuuming, when you're cleaning a carpet, 70% of the soil is dry soil. And that's the kind of soil that you're going to vacuum out. That's why you want a commercial type vacuum. When I say commercial, this one, it's pulling through the center motor. It's not like if you look at those cheaper vacuums, and there's nothing wrong with the cheaper ones, but they usually have a little side port. If you flip it over, you'll see it's sucking on one side. So it's not going to have as much force and lift as much stuff out as this would. This is pulling it directly through the center of the motor, so it's pulling in both directions underneath. And the beater bar is pulling everything up and assisting it so that it goes up into the bag. And like I said, 70% of the dirt you're going to remove is dry soil. Or in some cases, if you get lucky, it could be 100%. And, you're still going to clean it afterwards, obviously. But, you'll see. And when you've been in the business for quite a while, you'll be able to do multiple jobs, numbers of jobs. And there are, out here, I have a lot of military personnel that I do that are in the Navy. And some of these guys, they're young and they don't own a vacuum. Usually the women that are in the military, they're pretty clean. But some of the guys, they're young men, they're in the military, they rent these big homes, they get roommates, and they don't buy a vacuum. I've gone in homes where I've seen a broom and a dustpan. And, they have dogs, and, yeah, they take their shoes off and stuff, but the dog hair and the dry soil that's getting kicked around when they turn on the heater, the furnace, or the air conditioning unit, if they have that, it'll blow stuff around, land on the carpet. Carpet's like a filter. And those are the ones where sometimes I go in and I look at it and think, oh my gosh, this is going to be a nightmare. And I vacuum it and voila. It's like crazy. Luckily, if they had left their tennis shoes on when they walked through the house, they would be grinding and mashing all that dog hair and that soil into a fine powder that seeps down below the carpet into the padding. And then that's the odor. When you walk in someone's house and you don't smell urine, but it just smells like a wet dog or a musty dog smell or cat smell, that's what you are seeing is the hair is organic. And as they crush that down, it rots. And years ago I used to do installation. I would pull the carpet up and see this fine powder, and they'd go, wow, that's crazy. They laid the carpet with all that dirt and dust and crap under there. And that's when you tell them that it was probably clean when they laid the carpet, but all the organic matter and the hair and all that stuff goes up underneath there, and now you got the permanent odors and smells. So that's something that you want to be able to explain to a customer, especially when you go in and the home stinks, but it doesn't smell like urine. And they say, oh, it smells like dog. Take a look and see how much dog hair you pull up. Check your vacuum bag. And then maybe even show the client, hey, this is what I pulled up. And sometimes I'll say, you might want to check your vacuum. Sometimes they get clogged. not being disrespectful, but just trying to help you out, because this is what can occur. This hair will rot, you'll get these smells, and as long as you vacuum, a couple times a week, you're not going to have that happen. I may come back and repost just the vacuuming video, and I won't talk during the video. If you want to see just the vacuuming, I know I have a vacuum crowd, and occasionally I get an opportunity to vacuum. Most of the time it's done for me. But if you want to see just the vacuuming, kind of an ASMR type thing without me speaking, just indicate down in the comments below. I'd be happy to reload just that clip. I think it's 10 minutes of vacuuming. So let me know there. I've got all these rooms vacuumed. I'm showing you all the soil. So that's the first step. Of course, the second step, you can come in and pre-treat before you pre-spray or pre-condition. And today what I did, I was using my citric acid powder, and I just put a couple teaspoons in a bottle. But some of these spots, I don't think they're like acidic type spots like soda. I think they're probably more urine and some other stuff, so organic stuff. So I mixed up, I think I put a whole ounce in that bottle of the Dragon Fire, or Fire Dragon. Dragon Fire, I think it is. Can't think straight now. It's fire with a pH because the pH is higher, but it's similar to the Green Dragon. So I mix that up, and I go through and I'll spray that higher pH product on all these little spots and let them dwell. Then, of course, I'll get my Green Dragon. That's my pre-spray of choice. That's available at the end cap store. In fact, I don't know if you guys noticed, I was offered an opportunity to be what they call an affiliate. So I'll have an affiliate link available in most of my videos. And I think if you buy any products, it doesn't cost you any more to use my link, but it lets the end cap store know that you were referred by me, and I'm not even sure what the commission is, but I'll get a small commission. I wouldn't imagine more than 10%. But they asked me, and I said, okay, sure, because I'm not going to promote anything that I don't actually use myself or like. And I do have, a couple of companies now. I had the water softener company who asked me to do a video. I clearly told you guys that, hey, these people were asking for a review. I like it. I do use the soft water at some of my jobs. I'm working on getting a couple of good containers that I can fill up. I have the water softener set up in my garage. And I've used that. But I have a video coming up from Super Clean, that degreaser. I told them I'm not going to use that on carpets, obviously. But they sent me a hat, a t-shirt, and a bottle of Super Clean, I think it's called, that purple stuff. And I told them, sure, I'm under no obligation. But I said, yeah, I'll test it out on someone's driveway, and I'll make a video. No problem. But then now I've been getting multiple, like I had a cookware company call me and tell me, hey, we'll give you $300 to put a video on, and then a link so you can make money on all the sales. And I'm like, what channel are you watching? I'm a carpet cleaner, so I'm not going to promote anything like that on my channel, which is kind of funny. But I appreciate the offers. Obviously, I'm not sure exactly what an influencer is, but I guess that's the marketing influence specialists, or who are the people that are reaching out to me. Anyway, you saw me mix up my chemical. Obviously, that was step number 2. And then I pre-sprayed it. I lost the clip to the pre-spray, but you've seen in other videos of mine, I fill that bucket in, I drop the hose in there on the particular style sprayer I use. It's more like a gun or a pressure washer. I pre-spray, all the areas, at least 2 rooms in a hallway at a time, never more. I don't want it to dry out. With the Green Dragon, you don't ever want more than about 3 to 5 minutes dwell time. It doesn't take a long time. And then after you get your areas pre-sprayed, you want to hit it with either this is a rotary or an orbital machine. You can use, I get people ask me all the time, they want to get the exact same stuff. This was an eBay item, but you'll see in my next video, I'll feature the Koblenz again, the 13-inch 3/4. That's the one I'm gonna really start using in more of my videos. I'm working on a couple things with that, and my partner's been using that machine. But the main thing is to be VLM or low moisture, you're not steam cleaning or using hot water extraction. You're letting the chemical do the work, and you want to use the right kind of chemical. Like the Green Dragon is basically, it's similar to what they call encapsulation because it will return to a powder, but it's also got some anti-resoiling agents in it. And then normally I buy the lemon scent. They were out of the lemon scent, so I like to let my customers know that they're getting a mild deodorization. That's the lemon scent, and anti-resoiling protection. So they feel like they're getting the whole package. And where does the dirt go? People always ask. It gets sucked up and absorbed into the pads. And this is a 2-bedroom hallway and a living room, small area, living room, dining room combo. And with all the furniture in there, I just charged them for 1 room. But you can see I'll switch pads, I'll flip them over as well. I'll go all the way through, then I'll come back and just clean as thoroughly as you can. And if you're using Auric Orbiter, a lot of people are using the Auric these days. It's inexpensive. You can get one for about $290 on Amazon. It's a good little machine. You'll see videos that I've used. I've got guys that have started complete businesses with those. It is doable, but I will tell you, and I'm always trying to be honest, if I had to do it over again, I got my feet wet with the Auric Orbiter, and it's hard to explain to somebody who only uses the Auric Orbiter, and they may get offended, and I'm not trying to offend anybody. I love the Auric Orbiter, and I appreciate the people who introduced me to it and helped me along the way, because I've left my steam cleaning business behind, and I'm 100% VLM, and it's so much easier on me, my back, and I enjoy the process. It's a challenge. And if I had to do it all over again, or somebody asked me advice, because I've had people get upset with me when they say, what should I start with? So I kind of quit answering that and defer it to maybe the end cap store. Let Damon help you out. I'm not sure what your area is like or what, but sometimes I'll say, well, you could start with the Auric, but if I had to do it over again, I would definitely get the Koblenz 13-inch 3/4 horsepower motor rotary. And I'm sorry to the people who love orbital machines. I have tested and tested and tested, and I've come to believe, I know it's against all the rules and regulations out there, but I have come to believe that a rotary does a much better job. They both do a good job, but it's just in my opinion. So please don't be offended if you use a rotary. I also use rotaries. I have 2 Auric Orbiters I use for stairs. And I also have my mighty ECO 14-inch machine, which is the king of machines. That thing cleans like no other. But it's very big, and I will use that on commercial jobs, some residential. And it's an orbiting machine, wheels down. So no offense, but I do like the rotaries. And I'm just saying, if I had to start over again and I had a smaller budget, I would start with the Koblenz. It's a nice machine. You could do this, through eBay, this machine here, but I had to go through tons of modifications on the wheels. So there's the second pad. That's both sides. You can see it's a beautiful day here. There's the van. Had to come down this little area here. This is an apartment complex. This is actually a military person, and they were deployed for a year, I believe, on a boat, and had some friends staying here, so they wanted to get it cleaned up. So here's my next pad. You can see, if you look back at the walkthrough, this thing was trashed, the master bedroom, and everything came out. Here's the third pad. So remember, step one, of course the walkthrough, and then step one on the cleaning process is dry soil vacuum, pre-spot, and then pre-spray, or some people call it precondition. That's where you're preconditioning before you clean. So you put your chemical down, and then use your rotary or your orbital machine. I use Ironman pads. They're 100% cotton. You can get those through the end cap store. I think they're available other places too, but if you want to support the channel, just use my link. I'll put a link on there. And then when you're done cleaning, you can see here I bought these triangle brushes, not at the end cap store. They're actually just a cleaning brush, 2 for $20 on Amazon. I have provided links for that as well for people who are interested in getting the same brush. I have changed the handle, and I think right before this I showed it up against the wall. This handle is just so long. It makes it nice because you can cover more area. But what I'm doing is I'm grooming it. Now I do have the Grande groomer, which everyone recommends, but that's not going to give you this kind of triangle. And it's aesthetics. People think of clean when they see that. So that's how I groom it. Look at how beautiful that is. Absolutely wonderful. So vacuum, pre-spot, pre-spray. Use a rotary or orbital machine with a cotton pad. There are some other steps if you want to use a brush, or you can get into that later, but I'm giving you the general steps here. So clean it with a bonnet and then come back through and groom it. Some guys like to do a post vacuuming, which will still give you these nice looking triangles. That's totally up to you. I've had problems trying to use my vacuum to post vac because it gets moisture in the bag and everything sticks. So there you go. Those are the steps. And you can watch this over and over if you want, but pretty simple. So if you're in business, and again, I'll give you as much information as I can. Just watch my videos, and that's where you're going to get the knowledge. Watch other guys' videos and gals' videos, and I'll see you in the next episode.